56% of Native American women have experienced sexual violence, and 84% have experienced violence at all. So let me just ask a question. Why are Native American women especially vulnerable, do you think?
I think when you look at the costumes that we wear at Halloween and Pocahontas, the Disney movie, and when you historically take it back, it all comes back to this onslaught of assimilation, acculturation, and a change in complete lifestyle. A lot of Native communities, especially in the Southeast, which is where the Creeks originate from, it was all a matrilineal society. The women played a very important role and was honored and elevated. So when you start to change the dynamics, when you move out west and you get certain, like the Land Allotment Act and the Dawes Act, when in order to get your land, you had to name a male head of household. So when you change this dynamic from a very matriarchal society to a very a completely different perspective, and again, it's that whole superiority, this is the best way and this is how you should be, and we're going to change your whole dynamic. It changes the way women were revered and women were looked at, because now they weren't as important. So I think a lot of that change in the culture put them into a vulnerable perspective. And then you add on socioeconomic impact and not having as much access, that combined, and it's just, I think it leads and it makes them proportionally more vulnerable.
And then you ask the question, if this happens on tribal land and you're a non-tribal person committing these crimes, who governs that?
Exactly, yeah, because there was a Supreme Court decision in 1978 that actually ruled that the tribal nations lacked authority if it was a non-native person who was the perpetrator on tribal land. Which, of course, what is the message that gives?
You're free to do whatever you want to.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.